I honestly don't know how these things happen. Driving to the gym today, I was telling my cameraman, I feel so damn lethargic. I feel off. I'm not excited to train. Honestly, I was telling him, I might not even hit 200 today. And judging by the title, guys, I hit 210 for the first time. I don't know how this has happened to me several times before, where I rock up to a training session feeling like shit. And then I get surprised by the performance that I'm able to put out during that training session. I honestly don't understand the biology behind it, the psychology behind it. I started off with pin squats. I worked up to 220, 4 reds, and I was supposed to do 220 for a set of 10, and I failed. I got like 6, 7. And at that point, I thought to myself, this is going to go a bad way. I'm probably not even going to get 200. I just feel crap. My hips feel off. I feel tight through the hamstrings. I did that sitting leg curl machine yesterday, so I'm tired through the hamstring. I'm just feeling off. The pin squats was the first sign. I thought to myself, this is definitely not going right. And you know, from that moment on, I didn't feel like there was some good lift coming up. You know, I hit 180 and I started getting the palpitations, you know, the worry feeling before the 200, because I thought, today's day 14, man. If I hit this, it's going to be 2 whole weeks. And I started getting nervous. I'm like, man, I feel crap. You know, it's going to be a struggle. I won't be able to hit this. What a shame it would be to kind of, you know, not complete the 2 weeks. All these kind of thoughts. And I prepared myself and I got 200 somehow, and I felt like crap. I honestly don't understand what made me think 210. I think I was just so upset about what was happening and how crappy I was feeling. I didn't look at the footage of the 200. I didn't ask the cameraman to play back to me, nothing. I just went, screw it. Let me just fail 210. Let me feel it. Let me just wake up my nervous system. Let me just mark my territory with this to my mind. So it was like this was a self-talk that I was telling myself. I put 210 on, and of course, you know, you can picture my feelings. Started getting palpitations, started worrying, started thinking to myself, like, you know, defeating myself before even touching the bar. But I thought to myself, man, the other day I had 340 on my back. I know exactly what it feels like to have a shit ton of weight on me. And at least I know I can walk this thing out, stand there and feel confident that I'm not going to get crushed. So this is where these pin squats are valuable, man. Because it at least takes that perspective out of it. You're not going to get crushed by this. You know, I'll be able to walk it out with confidence. My core knows what's up. This is only 210 kilos, man. I've had 340, right? This is the conversation I'm having with myself. So I'm just basically trying to like tell my body, at least that part of it, we're good. The only trouble is sitting down and standing back up with it. And you'll see the footage is coming up. You know, you're watching me here kind of trying to get going with the pin squats. It wasn't feeling good, but when I walked that 210 kilo out, you'll see it, man. I walked up and I literally stood there for like 5 seconds. I felt like I was there for a minute. And I just thought to myself, I'm comfortable here. This 210 kilo weight, it's easy. I can stand here for days with this thing. I've had 340 on my back. And that sensation, that talk did something to me. I went down with confidence. I controlled the descent. And I was telling the cameraman, if I feel I can control the descent, like I'm not just dive bombing it, if I can manhandle that weight on the way down, I feel like I can get it back up. But if I feel like when I get to that sticking point on the eccentric, if I feel like just give out, I just kind of drop into the hole, then I know I won't be able to kind of time that bounce. I won't be able to control the bounce. I'll go down too quick and I'll just lose my tightness to the core, and then the whole thing goes to shit. I was able to control the eccentric, go into the hole with confidence, and then come back out from that hole in a good position, and that good position was perfect today. I was exactly in the exact spot where I need to be, and I was able to stand up with it. And when you look at the 200 and the 210, maybe 210 was slightly more grindy, but the two lifts didn't seem like overly different to me when I watch back on the footage. So obviously, automatically my brain lights up. Automatically, I'm like, man, I introduced this damn leg curls yesterday. Is it that's done it? Is it the pin squats? Is it the 340 from the other day? Did something to my whole body? I think it's a combination of things. But I can tell you this. The leg curls yesterday, Yes, I've got DOMs in my hamstrings, and I always tell everyone, like, out of all the muscles that I've ever done in my body, the hamstrings for me get the most DOMs. I don't know why. It's like a weird thing with me. So yesterday, what I did like, I think 3 or 4 sets with like increasing weight. I think I did 60 or 54 kilos or something on that machine. And I really tried to kind of lean forward and stretch the hamstrings at the top. So today I've kind of been sore in the hamstrings. I've kind of tried to stretch them out, but I've been busy today. I haven't really been all day at home kind of preparing for this session. So I've kind of come in, I kind of feel tired, whatever. So I'm kind of thinking to myself, did the leg curls do something? I still had a mean back pump today. When I walked up to the 210 kilos, I had a back pump. Lower back pump was a factor. So the leg curls didn't do that much to me to completely change how I feel. So I still kind of feel the same as I have been in the last week. But the hamstring didn't feel weird. You remember yesterday I was telling you guys I felt weird with the hamstring, which kind of led me to kind of think, let me start doing these directed leg curls, with the assumption that maybe my hamstrings are weak and not freaking tight. Tight is weak. Because for the last 2 weeks I've been stretching my hamstrings like crazy, and every single time I walk away from it 30-40 minutes I go back to square one. So anyway, lots of things in my mind. The last 2 weeks, 14 days, finalized with the 210 kilo squat. Automatically I've got the training log in front of me, and I'm looking back at those 2 weeks, and I'm thinking to myself, the secret to progression for me is here. I love it. I can just focus on these 2 weeks and basically write off a whole freaking paragraph or two, a whole page of notes summarizing what I've done this last fortnight. My core feels good. When I rack heavy weights, I feel good. So definitely the pin squats are a part of the recipe, definitely. I know some of you guys have also started doing it, and a few guys have actually messaged me, and you guys have said that you guys have hit PRs by doing pin squats first. So I definitely think the pin squats are something, man. I don't really care how high the pin squats are. Like the 340 kilo pin squat that I did the other day, that was extremely high. That was like a vertical torso, and all I was really doing is loading my core. There was no forward lean, maybe a little bit of quad activation. So there's something to these pin squats. And so you guys have been kind of setting PRs. I've kind of been feeling really good under the bar, and now I've done this. So definitely the pin squats are up to stay. Now it's a matter of thinking about the leg curls, thinking about the frequency of them. I said to the cameraman today, I squat every single day, and multiple times a day, really, like not in separate sessions, but in one session. So yesterday I did 3 lots of run-ups to heavy weight. So why don't I include every single day some sort of direct training of the leg curl or the hamstrings? So that's part of my psyche as well. So right here, guys, we're watching the footage of the 210. My heart's racing. I'm worried. There's a whole lot of self-talk happening. All I wanted to do is walk it out to this point and stand there and talk to my brain and say to my brain, see, I can stand here for hours. This is not a heavy weight. Let's just sit down and stand up with it. It's not heavy. Maybe it's all psychological. The hamstring felt good. Man, the relief that you feel when you get progress. Somebody like me that's been at it for such a long time, somebody like me who's always looking for answers, always rocking up on rainy days, on sunny days, always rocking up. To remember all those 4:30 in the morning days that I've rocked up where I can't freaking do anything. It's all worth it when you have days like this. And the craziest thing is, I never saw this coming, man. This is the craziest thing about all of this. How does one jump in a car, drive to the gym, and the whole time think, oh my God, I'm going to have a shocker today? And from that point on, have a PR attempt, a successful attempt, have a personal record happen. I just don't understand it. This has happened to me several times like this. I wonder if there's some sort of hormonal thing happening here, whether your body just goes, screw it, let's just freaking go for it. I don't understand. But now I'm in that aftermath period of a moment like this, and automatically, man, I'm looking for reasons for this. The only thing I've recently changed is that of those leg curls. So definitely the leg curls are staying. I did them today again after all of this. I put all these shoes on, and I went up again to a heavy 180 pause. I decided to just pause with all these shoes because I can't really bounce out of them anymore. Like I always feel off balance. So I just thought, let's just go into the whole stop and then plan the ascent properly and not bounce around with these shoes, because I feel like if I bounce out of it, I'm going to land on my nose, because I just feel like I'm squatting downhill. So I did that, did the leg curls. So right now I'm planning to do leg curls every single time. Every single time I train, I finish the day off with leg curls. And it's not going to be super crazy volume. Today I did 30 kilos for set of 20, 40 kilos, 50 kilos for set of 20, and that was it. So I did like 3, maybe 4 sets or something like this. That was it. So every single day I'm going to come in and basically do PNF stretching with this exercise. So one of you guys actually mentioned this type of routine, or this type of exercise. I've been aware of PNF stretching for a while. So PNF stretching is proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. It basically originates from the medical world, where they were working with stroke patients to get basically muscles on limbs kind of reintegrated into the brain after strokes, after being spinal injuries or anything like this. So physios have kind of used this kind of method where essentially it's you go into a stretch, and from a stretched out position you contract that muscle against the resistance. So in you'll see it the way I did the leg curls. So I'm going into a full stretch. I'm leaning my torso forward in that seated leg curl machine. I'm really actively forcing, like with my biceps, pulling my torso down. So like literally doing like a seated, toe reach, and then activate the hamstrings. And it's apparently been proven that this is the most effective way to gain flexibility in muscles. So I guess it's a really good way of developing strength in that end range of motion. This is why RDLs kill you. This is why RDLs leave you smashed in the hamstrings. This is why stiff-legged deadlifts are really, really also dramatic for the hamstrings, especially like, the DOMs. I don't know whether you guys are the same, but for me, hamstrings always get hammered the most. Nothing hurts more than hamstrings doing like RDLs or stiff-legged deadlifts or anything like that for me, or even good mornings. That's another really good exercise. This fella here walked up, introduced himself. This is another subscriber. This is becoming a really frequent occurrence for me. It's a damn pleasure, man. This happened like just before I hit 180 with the old issues. I was telling him all about the 210 kilo and how I felt shitty on the drive here, and all of a sudden I ended up putting up a PR. And he was basically saying the same thing, how it's like some days you can't even plan how to feel shit, you get everything kind of rolling, and then all of a sudden you rock up to the gym and you feel like crap in the training session. But other days you feel like crap, you rock up and you have the best performance of your training career. So it's everyone goes through this. And basically for me, I wonder why these things happen. I wonder if there's a cause behind this. Because I can't tell you how many times I've had 4:30 in the morning sessions, walked up, man, like 4 or 5 hours sleep, if that, and I rock up and I'm just stiff and everything goes incredible. The bar feels delighted. I don't know whether there's a bit of adrenaline rush there. Maybe that's what's happening. Like, you realize you're having a shit workout and some adrenaline starts flowing through your veins. I don't know. But this is what I was telling you guys about this leg curl machine. See how I'm kind of pulling myself forward, trying to stretch between reps. I introduced this yesterday. The day later, I hit 210. So my brain automatically starts thinking, do not let go of this exercise. Keep the damn pin squats, keep the leg curls, keep the freaking ollie shoes. That's another thing that I've introduced. So this damn recipe is getting tastier and tastier. So I'm in a crazy stretch right now. Unfortunately, I've only got 2 more days left of annual leave. Tomorrow and the next day, and I'm back to work, back with a crazy schedule. So let's see how my performance gets affected again. Obviously, I'm going to try and have a high caloric intake. The sleep is going to be, it is what it is. I do 12-hour shifts. I have to wake up 4:30 in the morning to get the workouts in. So definitely some of these days I'm going to have 5 hours sleep. It is what it is. I just can't avoid that. You can't work 12-hour, 13-hour shifts and get 12 hours sleep. It's just impossible. when you put in, the time that it takes you to travel to a place, to come back to a place, to go to a gym. I mean, I probably won't go to the gym the next week all that much because of that. So lots of changes happening. I'm happy I got a PR before that change of schedule, but it's going to be really, really interesting for me to see how much effect, lack of sleep, lack of proper nutrition, all of that stuff has on my performance. Because if there's a sudden drop of performance, then I can basically conclude that the biggest change in all of these 14 days of craziness that I've put on the board, the biggest change is that I've had really good rest and really good food, and I'm recovering between sessions. That's basically the majority of the weight in all of this, in this equation. If my performance stays really high, then I can basically conclude that, well, maybe it's not so much the recovery and the sleep, which is probably hard to imagine, but it's probably the pin squats. Because the pin squats, in a weird way, I started as I was coming into the annual leave. So two things I changed at the same time, which I don't like doing that, but it happened the way it happened. Started annual leave, started sleeping a whole lot, started eating a whole lot, and also started pin squats. So it's going to be interesting to see, to reintroduce or control for one of the other variables and see what I end up with. Regardless, 210s on the board. I have some freaking progress. I have a good stretch. And the most exciting of all of this, I've said this in the past, is it feels really good to progress, but it feels even better to feel healthy. I have no hip pain. This has been the longest freaking stretch of my life, certainly in this program, that I've had so much hardcore training and no pains, no fires to put out. That's truly the most exciting thing for me, because I know if that's the case, I can continue training like a maniac, and I know results will come if I do that. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.